Yeah. So if you're wanted by somebody for skipping out of town, you can cover your screen right now. Okay. All right. Well, Andy obviously is busy at work and he has a shady past.
Oh, did I miss that? I'm so sorry. I love that kind of
A shady Peter Light Crystal. Light Crystal, you with us?
Wonder why I'm not up there.
I don't hear her. I don't hear Mary.
If you're looking to put your picture on, you go to where it says start video and just click and you'll get your picture down at the bottom of your screen.
I don't see
Yeah, I
that.
don't mute anybody's microphone unless
You
we
have
get
to
to have,
hover at the bottom of your screen.
if we have way bunch of people. I mean,
There I
there
am.
you are. Okay, hey Mary.
There you go.
Well, these are all lovely faces I know, except for Andy. I don't believe I knew your face. I know
Good
your
to be here.
voice.
What is your handle, Andy?
Andy,
Mine's just Andy Glover.
Andy
Oh,
Glover.
okay.
Isn't that
All
cool?
right. How about that?
Some of us are strange that way. Well, okay. The theme of two people waiting. Let me see. Who boy? Who's admit S Claudia? Oh, Claudia. And Kevin Bryden's iPhone. Hey, honey, you can bring the cat in. That's a cat. That's my granddaughter and her cat. She came over to visit, help me with Betty. The main theme of this here is it's going to be every month, first Monday of every month. And we're going to, I'm focusing on problems that newer recorders, newer proof listeners, newer people may have. But we can talk about anything. I can see everybody in here is a veteran. My goodness, except everybody I see is a veteran. I don't know, Light Crystal, you do a lot of proof listening, don't you? PD Diaz, hello. I don't recognize your face. Are you new? Oh, we've got somebody new. Yes. Okay.
I'm new too.
Who?
I'm pretty new too, except for I got so obsessed with it that I'm up to like 800 posts in like 3 months or 4 months or whatever.
Ah, well, you are new.
It's like been less than a year.
Well, then good. You have a good perspective. Is there anything in LibriVox that surprised you? That you came in, you had to jump all these hurdles. Anything that surprised you, or was?
I mean, as always, because I'm older, like all this technology always like just kicks my butt and just surprises me so much, because there was so much technicality to it in my mind, because I wasn't raised with computers, and I just kind of, I'm a minimalist, so I kind of stay on the fringe of things, but that's kind of what it was like, trying to meet the standards and then messing it up and trying to get it back. And
so in other words, the technology was the standards, meeting the technical standards.
yeah, like the decibel level was
120,
like
oh, the
something that
decibel
when
level.
I really first started, it really just confused me and I didn't know how to fix it. But then now I figured out, I mean, all of it is basically in the LibriVox place to get, but it was just confusing to try to find it. So now I just kind of like wrote or copied somebody else's post, somebody that was there for a long time, and that's what I just give other people so that they know exactly what buttons to push to fix it.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know actually how many people record into a computer, directly into the computer, and how many use a separate recorder like I do. I use a separate recorder.
A separate
with a very
recorder.
good microphone. Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Or not really a question. So I just signed up last week, and I have gear that I bought so that I could do nice recordings instead of just from the computer. And so I'm having issue with my gear. So is it possible to just record from one's computer instead of using fancy gear.
What type
I
of
think
gear are you talking about?
Yeah, it's perfectly feasible to record straight into a computer, but you
Oh,
need
yeah.
some kind of interface usually.
Right.
If you just use a USB in, it might work and it might not, but it might not be very good. If you have a proper interface, then you can use a good mic and get much better quality.
Right. So I bought a Scarlett Focusrite
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I bought a
they're
really
excellent.
nice mic, the Rode mic,
Oh, yeah.
specifically
mic?
for voice.
The pod mic.
So your Rode mic plugs into the interface?
Yeah, it does. And then I have headphones so that I could hear. And so I downloaded Audacity, thinking that that would automatically somehow find my gear. But it didn't. So,
If they go into
So-
so I'm
preferences,
having,
Adrian may
Perhaps
help
I
you with
can-
that.
Perhaps I
you
can
need to go
help
into
you.
preferences in Audacity and then
Adrian?
select
okay.
Scarlett. I've got a
Yes, so-
Focusrite Scarlett as well.
Who
So
has a Scarlett?
I'd suggest the easiest way to resolve that is actually just to do a one-on-one Zoom with one of us who's been through that learning curve.
Oh, that would be really great. I'd appreciate that because I really, really want to use my gear.
I'm
Uh,
I'm happy to do that with you, but there are probably others who could also do that.
Okay, well, whoever has time, my kiddo is off. They added another week because they're trying to be careful with all the COVID.
I'll message you my
Surges.
email address.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay,
And-
let me back up here, PD. So you have equipment that your mic plugs into and then it's recorded somewhere else. It's recorded into the computer or something?
Right, so my computer doesn't have recording software, so I got Audacity.
Oh,
Mhm.
editing software. Okay.
So the Audacity records, but it doesn't record through my microphone. It records through the computer microphone.
The configuration of hardware you've got is almost exactly the same as what I use, which is a Rode NTG4 Plus shotgun mic
Yeah,
into the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 interface
okay.
into a Windows 10 computer
Yeah.
running Audacity.
Yeah, like almost exactly the same.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's certainly possible, and that's actually a very good configuration. It's not the microphone. This is a Samsung Go mic condenser mic on the end of a piece of wood over my
And that's
desk.
a USB mic.
That's a USB mic.
Mhm.
It's reasonably good. The acoustics are not great here. You know, we've got hard floors and walls,
Mhm.
but this isn't my recording booth.
Okay.
In the recording booth, I've got the shotgun microphone that's set up just above my head. So
Okay.
it's about 8 inches, 10 inches away from my mouth.
Okay.
And in this kind of situation, it'd be just out of shot.
Okay.
And Adrian and PD, interesting thing. Is there a way, Adrian, that you could go to chat and put your
He did.
your
I'm gonna
Zoom
email
link,
him.
Zoom link or email link? A Zoom link would be nice so that y'all could chit chat when you get time and he could show you exactly how it works.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I've sent you my email address. We could do a Zoom together, and
Cool. Well,
Oh.
you see, we're making progress.
I'll take my phone and I'll show you around the kit. And
That'd be great.
Yeah, trust me.
Thank you.
Adrian knows what he's talking about. He really does. So
And
cool.
we also tell him we had a guest speaker from a microphone place, and that's recorded too. I think that's on our YouTube channel, isn't it?
Yes,
Bill?
no, it's on our website. If you go to the Zoom session, the link to the recording is there. It says, I don't know, microphone speaker recording.
Yeah, we had a microphone session
on
like
YouTube,
about
but-
a month ago,
yes, he was from
so
Rode.
you can learn from there too.
So that
And thank you
answered,
too, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, also for offering some insights as well.
No problem. You're welcome.
I want to, okay, what can I say? Michelle, you asked a question. How many people here actually record, do some recording? I do. Michelle does. I know Andy, Chris. Before I think
I do occasionally.
Okay, so okay, Mary, do you mainly DPL?
I mainly DPL. I record a little bit.
Okay, well, and of
Usually
those,
usually a nonfiction thing.
okay, but of those people, Michelle asked the question: how many of us use an interface, and how many of us record directly using a USB into our computer? I use the USB. I'll come back to that. I'm
Well,
one.
I use a mic upstairs in my little recording room, which I record into a dedicated recorder. It's Sound Devices Mix Pre 3, if anybody's heard of that. And then I bring the memory card down, put it in my computer, and then I edit from there.
Okay, well, cool.
I use an interface.
I can't answer your question, Michelle, because we do it in different ways. But I do have Chris. You're up in my right hand corner. You're relatively new. You said you've and you were telling us your experiences that technology was the biggest hurdle for you.
Yeah.
And specifically, it was getting your specs. So 128 kilobytes per second, 44.1, whatever bitty bytes, booty boots, and getting all that right. Is that correct?
It was actually just the decibel.
The decibels, you see, that's totally different.
Because everything was set up right and it passed the 1 minute test, but then 3 chapters in, I got, you know, a note from the proof listener that the decibel level was need to be brought up by 3, but I didn't know what that meant at all. So it was kind of a journey. And at one point, I think I posted that I was so exasperated I was going to give up, but then my obsession overtook and I pursued. So now I know about the amplify and all of that. And the checker, that checker app that you can check your own recording for this if it meets the standards, and then the MP3 gain that you can analyze it with, those really helped a lot. So it's more mechanical now. So.
And that's all jargon that you had no idea about. All that stuff was new, but you learned it. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all
I'll
of us,
tell you
actually.
something I want to do, Phil.
Yes, yes.
Maybe y'all would find this interesting. For beginners, I'd like to record. I don't have to do it in front of y'all, but just on my own. I'd like to do a recording on a newbie tour of LibirVox. Just take people through the forums and where you find things and how you sign up for things and so forth. Does that sound like a good idea?
Absolutely.
I think that'd be really helpful. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Now,
because
I have
mean,
a video.
I've been here for 7 years and there's nooks and crannies that I have still never gone to. Many nooks and crannies.
And
I
there's
still have
some you
questions.
shouldn't go to either. What you poking in all those nooks and crannies? No, really. I have a video called our forums or something like that, and the recording process isn't magic, which walked it through, but we need a new one. We need one by you. I'm encouraging anybody to make videos, please.
Okay.
I
Well,
used
I'd
to
like to
make
do a Zoom video on that. And then I'll run it by y'all first, and you can tell me where it needs to be improved, and then I'll make it to where new people can pop in and watch the video and go, oh,
Absolutely.
that's where that is.
Let me see. Is anybody here that shouldn't be here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, anybody here that I haven't let in. Yeah, let's see. Let's take a vote.
That's what I want to look at.
Who are we going to kick out now? So we only have one. PD is brand new. We welcome you. And I asked a question, I think, before you came, is there anything that's surprising to you now that you're sort of in this community of people? No? Anything that you want to improve? What was the biggest stumbling block for you?
Well, I like what Michelle suggested was a video taking
Yes.
a tour, because there's quite a lot of information to sift through and a lot of protocols to learn?
So
Or
there's a kind of a breakdown. It's like a tour of the platform. And then that can break down into how to, how to do procedure, processes, which is a whole different thing. But just a basic tour is I think would be very helpful.
That's your job.
I also like how repetitive everything is. So it seems like every forum has a repeat of the same protocols.
Pretty
So
much.
it's helpful as a reminder, but also that, he probably asked this question a lot. So the answer is usually there in every forum.
Read the first post. Read the first post.
Okay.
Yeah.
Read the first post
I
every
lost
single
everybody
time,
here.
right?
Yeah,
The
actually,
sticky- the
since
sticky
we're
posts
chit
in each
chatting,
forum are very useful too. So
say again.
go to the very first page of the forum, and the ones that are locked in place there usually have good stuff you need to know.
Sometimes I wonder if people really pay attention to what they're reading.
Yeah.
Now I'm sharing my screen. This is our
There you go.
main index right here. You're right. We need a walkthrough. What is the difference between book suggestions and the new project's launchpad? Readers want it.
So when I was going through the forums and the book, because I was looking for children's short stories works, and there was a page, but everything was pretty much filled. What is the time frame when a new book comes up? Is it pretty instantaneous that things get picked up?
Not at all.
No. Okay.
Not at all. What I just did, by the way, I clicked on readers wanted short works because
that's where children's books would be.
That's where
for
most
sure.
of the children's books go. I've used they always got something in here. No, it takes a long time. Some of these take a long time to fill up. Let's go with myths and legends around the world in English. And you'll see that there is 1, 2, 3, 4 open. And this one was posted in November.
Okay.
It could take 5 months to fill up everything, 6 months.
Oh, I know a project that recently cataloged that was on there for 3 years.
Yeah. So to answer your question, the easy ones like the fairy tales, things like that. Yeah. New people fill those up pretty quickly. Or the tale of Timmy Titmouse by Burgess or whatever is attractive because it's easy reading, it's easy editing, and they're usually short chapters.
Okay.
So does that answer your question?
Okay.
Yes,
If you go to the
I'll stop
poems,
scrolling.
go to Readers Wanted Short Works, back where you were.
Back where you were in.
And go to weekly poem, The Forest Reverie. Go down a little further down.
Weekly poem. There you go.
Wait a minute. Don't click on that one.
I'm not going to click on that.
I want you to click on the fortnightly poem.
Fortnightly. Now that means every 2 weeks, doesn't it?
Yeah, every 2 weeks. Usually there's there it is at the bottom of your screen.
Oh, there it is.
You go.
Fortnightly poem.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, click on that one.
Song of the Waters.
Click on that one. This is one of those great things for beginners who are practicing.
Okay.
Every reader reads the same poem. So you can have 5 people that decide to read it. You can have 30 people that decide to read it. It's just a collection of different voices reading the same poem in their own style, as they interpret it. I find that this is my project. That's what I'm talking about. I find it fascinating.
Wow.
And I always tend to tell beginners to go there and practice, because it's not like a chapter book where everybody depends on your chapter sounding good,
Yeah.
It's like you just read it, and it doesn't. A bad reader doesn't tank the project.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets to practice. And there are school teachers that bring their students here to show them how many different interpretations there are.
Yes.
So it's a useful tool for school teachers and homeschoolers. And anyway, there's a fortnightly going on all the time, and there's a weekly going on all the time. And you can, just look for those in the short works collection. And if you feel like jumping in, go ahead.
Yeah, you simply post in here. I know I'm scrolling a lot.
You
I
read the
apologize.
first post and
post
it tells you
replies.
exactly
No.
what to do.
You record it. Then this is the only time where you actually record the thing before you ask to record it, because everybody has permission to record it.
Anybody can get in this.
And then you edit it, and then you post it in here, and then by golly, that's it. You're in.
It says you're beginning your reading a certain way. You read these words, you read the poem, you end it that way, and you name it this, and you upload it there. And that's
Okay.
it. So the first post in every project will tell you exactly what to do, what to name your file, where to put your file, where to upload it to, who's in charge of the project, where do you find the text source? And they're a little bit different because each BC or book coordinator has slightly different requirements for their project, because basically they find the project, they bring the project to LibirVox, they engineer the project, you know what I'm saying? They keep it on track until it's finished. So it's like their baby. And they may have a slightly different take on, what they want. So you read the first post very carefully, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
There's ghost and horror. I love those.
Did you have a question?
Mm-mm,
PD? Okay. So
I don't.
this is really the best way to start, was to record the weekly or fortnightly poem. It's easy, and you can do it and practice with that wonderful thing called editing, which we haven't talked about yet.
Or short stories, as you go through your life, you run across short stories that you like. And
Now, I want to point out
just post them in there.
our collections. We have a collection series. We have something called the Insomnia Collection. Maybe you haven't heard of that. Well, I'm not going to talk about the Insomnia Collection. Here's the Short Mystery and Suspense Collection. How many other collections we got on here?
There's also short
Ghost
nonfiction.
and horror is short nonfiction,
Short
meaning
nonfiction. So it's basically just, we got a collection to, every
Yeah,
time
there
you
is, right
read
there.
something that's public domain, you can say, oh, I can record that and I could plug it into this
Let's see.
collection.
if anyone, oh yeah, look at all these. We've had 6 people have recorded, and there it is right there. Some like 5 minutes and some 20 minutes long. It's up to you. You can only be like 60 or 70 minutes long.
Yes,
Okay.
it's-
So if you want to read about,
Unless you're in a book, unless you're in a coffee break collection.
oh, look at
which
this.
I run those
Yeah,
too.
that's
And
5
those are
minutes.
15 minutes or less. So
I
look at
know,
that.
in fact, that women are people.
Oh, who posted this? This is cool.
Hopefully
Oh,
not
I
Phil.
like that.
It's a book.
Obviously, it's been very popular.
This one was a lot of fun.
I
Why
have
were
a
you?
question.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Well, when you're just,
Why will you post pockets for women?
is
All
that
right.
why we don't have pockets in our clothing?
Obviously, there's a reason. You need to listen
Oh
to that.
my gosh, I do need to listen to that.
Okay. Let's go back to the board index. This is where everything happens for the new people, and for the old people too. This is our FAQ. We have a lot of good information there, and whatever, we got all kind of stuff down here.
Okay,
Okay.
if you go, would you go up to the very top, new
Intro-
here, introduce yourself?
New here, introduce yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
I would really like to say something about that. If you go to the top, if you're new people, see where it says new topic? New topic?
Yes.
That's how a new person would introduce themselves. And why is that important that you introduce yourself? Because when you sign up for a project that some BC is doing, one of the things they're going to know is they're going to want to know more about you. How many languages do you speak? What is your intention for being here? So people who avail themselves of the introducing themselves really help themselves and all of us to be a community, by sharing a little more of themselves.
Yeah, we have a tremendous variety of talents here walking around.
Yeah.
Amazing. Here's one who made it here, barely a scratch. Obviously, she struggled. So thank you. That was a good thing. Anyway, this is the board
You need
index.
to let Light Crystal back in, I think.
I'm going to stop Oh, yeah. One
Did
thing
you
we
hear
have,
me, Phil?
I did not hear you.
Okay, if you Light Crystal had his computer crashed, he had to re-sign up. You might have to let
Oh.
him back in.
I did. I just let him back
Oh,
in. I wanted to point about over here. These things here show you that there's unread posts in this particular forum. This is the number of replies, like 185 replies, and it was looked at by 4,000 people. Whoa. That's a lot of people. There's all kind of information on here. If you want to go to the very last post on anything, you can go, well, where is it? Right here, I think. That little arrow, it should take you to the last post. Yes, it will take you there.
See, I've been here 7 years. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
I
What?
didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's all it's packed with fascinating. You can send a private message to anybody if you want right here, and it will automatically include this message right here. Say, I disagree with you about, women having pockets or whatever. And
How dare you?
I'm trying to let some people in, and I don't know how to do it. Hold on. Okay, well, so the forum is packed with stuff. Michelle, when you do this, this will take you
If you
to
click on that,
the
it takes
person's.
No, that's not right.
Do y'all get to see this? I'm an admin, so I don't know. I get to see
Yeah.
I can go back and look at the posts that this person
Right.
made.
You can look
I
at all their
always-
posts.
You can
What they're active
what
on.
active in and most active topic.
Right.
Topic.
Now, if you go backwards, go back to where you were before. I'll do that a different way. You see, you clicked on the person's name
Yes,
in the
right.
right column. I
Right here.
click on their posts. If you click
Which-
on posts, no,
where?
the number of posts,
Here.
you see, no, posts 23.
Oh, posts.
You
I've
click on
never
that 23.
I've never clicked on that.
Click on that. There is their latest post.
Oh,
And it goes backwards to their entire post history. So be careful what you post because it's there forever. And those of us who want to know more about you, like what projects are you on, or what problems or other people are you having on other projects, you can get the entire history of that person right there.
well, I just read this.
And this is most useful, like, let's say somebody signs up for one of your chapters and 2 months goes by and they haven't submitted their chapter, and you want to know, well, has this person dropped off of LibirVox or what? So you click on that number and it'll tell you the most recent post. And if the most recent post was yesterday or a week ago, they're still hanging around. They've forgotten about you, and you can, send them a PM and remind them.
Okay, cool.
That
I'm
kind
going
of
to
thing.
stop sharing because we could go on about this for a long time.
Don't stop sharing. Do one thing more. Go up to the top, please, and
Yes.
click on home page. Under the LibirVox form, it says home page. Way
Under
up at the top. Up at the top, higher, higher, higher.
Oh, yeah, up here.
Click on
Yeah.
home page. I just want to show something. And go down, down. Look, if you say latest audiobook releases, this is how you can keep track of the latest, newest stuff.
Yes,
come
the
up.
late as they are putting our
Every
catalog.
day I check this to see if there's a short story collection.
I just cataloged this one, The Tale of Mrs. Ladybug.
Mhm.
Fascinating. And this one right here too. This is the latest ones. Golly, it was something I wanted to say and I forgot.
So
what
it's
it
only the
was.
top 10, and as soon as the next new one gets cataloged, the one that's Holy Bible is going to drop off the list. It's just the top 10.
I want to announce that we had 1,400 books cataloged. I think 1,400
Oh, no, it's more than
last
that.
year.
No,
last
it's
year.
1,600. I think. Oh, last year, you mean?
Yeah, that blew the record out.
1,600. If you go back to the homepage a minute.
No, I don't think so. That's
Uh-huh.
16,000 books
Yeah, 16,000. Oh, you mean in a year?
in the year. In other
In
words,
one year.
in 2021.
If you go to the bottom of this page, it'll have the statistics. Go down to the bottom of the homepage. Yeah,
Scroll
right
all the
down.
way.
Go down to the bottom.
There it is.
Yeah, LibirVox statistics. Cataloged works 1623, works cataloged last month 97. Number of languages 46, number of readers 11, almost 12,000. But a lot of those aren't active now. But
Oh,
it
of
doesn't
course.
say how many cataloged in December
Um,
or last year.
let me see. I
But
want to
that's
tell
probably on one of
y'all
the forums, isn't it?
that we did have the highest book total, I think, last year of it blew everything out the water. 1,400 is 1,400 is a lot for a year.
Oh, yeah.
Since the pandemic, we have had about, I don't know, our number of new readers and people, volunteers, has increased by about 500-600%. We're getting tremendous
Okay.
numbers in, and it's difficult to help everybody. You know, where it's difficult to work, like Chris, it's difficult to go through the technology stuff with the few people that we got. And that's one reason why I kind of started this thing. I thought maybe a beginner's, what is it? Just come in and say, I don't know
Welcome
how,
to
I don't
LibirVox.
know how to post the thing. You know, I don't know how to edit
Be
or
right
whatever
back.
they want to do. We can talk about that. Who was it that I haven't talked to? Kevin. I see you on your iPhone.
Hello.
Hello. Where are you calling? Where are you viewing us with from?
I'm in the northeast of England in County Durham.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you just join? I saw somebody from the Northeast.
Yes, I only joined about 3 days ago.
I knew another knew. We okay, this is aimed at you and newer people like PD, but that's what. So if you have any questions or anything that you want to talk about, speak up.
Yeah. I've posted my first poem on the Muse and Mint. The poetry book, is it by Walter Seymour Percy, I think. So I've managed to do one poem so far, record one poem.
So you've put it into we call it a thread, and has it been proof listened yet?
Yes, it has. Yeah.
And you gotta okay.
Yeah, see if you can just reset the whole damn thing. There's nothing on it that I kept that was of any importance.
You talking to me? Well, congratulations. We look forward to a lot more. Here's Todd.
It was a challenge. I can see what other people are saying. I mean, I've used audio recording stuff for probably 20 years, but I still found it a challenge.
What was the biggest or smallest challenge of it?
Sorry?
What was the most difficult thing? The recording, the editing, the uploading? What?
The uploading was a bit of a challenge, but the decibel level as well, because that's I had to look into the Luft scale. So I get my output to about 23, 24 on the Luft scale, which gives me about 77, I think, 78 on the decibel when I upload it, when I put it into the checker. So the checker's a good tool. So that was useful.
What do you use to edit with?
Logic Pro 10.
Logic Pro 10. I don't know that one. I'm sure somebody on here knows that one very well, but I would like to share my screen again and show y'all a tool in Audacity that is I'm excited about. I use it all the time now. It adjusts my volume to perfect volume. I don't have to do anything else. Watch this. Well, I should watch this. I don't know how to
Is
get
that
to
a
it.
Yeti Blue you have in your screen?
That is
Bill?
correct. That is a Yeti Blue. I've come back to my Yeti Blue.
That's what I use too.
After trying
Doesn't sound
many
so good.
different ones. I've come back to it. I'm trying to get to my I don't know how to let can y'all see that? Can y'all see this? My Audacity?
Yet.
No, you're not sharing your screen.
I'm not sharing much. Oh, okay. You can't see my Audacity.
Yeah, there you go.
Anybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yes.
cool. And now, this is Audacity. Of course, volume has been a big problem throughout, ever since I've been a member for like 11 years now. It's always been hard because we talk about decibels, and there's hardly any way to do this in Audacity unless you change your track to dB, which is nobody wants to do. I never do that. I've been taught how to do that, but this effect.
Phil, can I just object to that for a moment?
So go right ahead.
Actually, I find editing in DB a lot easier than linear
Yes.
because you can see the beginnings and ends of words a lot more clearly.
Okay. What he's talking about is this is a linear track. It's recording, it's going linear, ba, 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 ba. If I change this right here, right click and go to decibels, it shows decibels.
I find that much better as well, actually. Although I don't use Audacity, of course.
You don't use Audacity, but
No.
well, okay, I don't know. And
So you can record without using DB and then just press DB and it'll show you the words? Is that what you're
exactly.
saying?
Watch. I see. I'm just changing it right here, but this is not what I wanted to show you. Some people love. Well, obviously, Adrian loves it. Not me. I like this effect right here. It's called Loudness Normalization.
Mhm.
Oh, I got to select it. I'll select it all.
Is that different from normalize?
Yes, it is, because I get to choose my LUFS, LUFS, perceived loudness. I find that if I set my recording at -19, it comes out to about 89 decibels. I've never had a failure yet. I've done maybe 60 to 70 tracks with this. I don't have to worry about, I may
Well, that would
compress.
help me out a lot.
All you do is you click that and that's it. It's now at about 89. If I ran this through Checker, it'd be 88.9 or 90.1.
So it lowers the high points and raises the low points?
I reckon,
So-
I'm sure there's some flaws with it. I'm sure there are flaws. But
Can you go back?
I
Can you
guess
undo?
I can. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's see, undo and redo.
Effect. Loudness normalization. You have to choose your LUFS. My
Okay.
particular setup is about -19 and it comes out just about perfect. Once again, I'm not saying this is perfect. I'm sure there's problems with it.
All that's doing is increasing the gain so that it agrees with Checker. That's all it's doing.
Say that again, please.
All that it's doing when you do that is it increases the gain, and that then more or less is correct with Checker.
Well, it increases the gain to -19 LUFS.
Okay,
Yeah.
do me a favor, if you would.
Sure.
Undo. First of all, undo it. Okay, now copy it. Copy that segment, just
Copy
not the
that.
whole, no, not the whole thing, just that second segment. Copy it.
Copy?
Yeah, the whole segment with the spaces and everything. Copy the whole segment.
Okay.
Double click on this. No. Okay.
Oh, I'm
Now-
sorry.
Now go to the end and paste it again. And paste. Paste it. Okay, now, now take this last one and apply your loudness to it. No, yeah, apply the loudness just to that. Okay, now let's take a look at both of them.
Want to listen to both of them or take a look?
Well, we can listen to
think we
both
can
of them. I
hear
just
it.
wanted to look at both of them and see. We can't
We
listen
can
to it
hear it.
because you haven't clicked the right thing.
Okay, well, then we're not going to listen to it. So
But
what
I'm
is your
just looking
question,
at it.
Michelle?
Hmm?
What is your
I'm
question?
just looking at the comparison of how they look.
If you ran this through the checker, it would come out about 89 decibels. If you ran this through the checker, it would come out at about probably 85.
Okay.
They're
That's all.
definitely different.
Oh, yeah, you can see the volume here. So I'm mentioning this not because I'm technically advanced. I'm mentioning this because it works for me. And I'm, like I say, I don't use an interface. There are people on LibriVox that know 1,000 times more than I do. Well, Adrian, for example, Todd, gee, who else? I mean, we have.
Bill,
very
I'd like to
knowledgeable-
point out one concern that I have with this
Yes,
is if you have any kind of a noise floor issue, this would amplify the noise floor as well as your voice.
of course. Of course. I
So
should
you
point
would
out.
you would do your noise reduction before you
Yeah,
do this.
I do my noise reduction before I start editing. I get it to a nice level floor that I like, and then I edit. And then I just do this magic. loudness
Now, where did you
normalization.
get that loudness normalization? Is that one of the effects?
It's built in, as far as I know. It's part of Audacity.
Loudness normalization is not too further down. It says normalize. No, I don't have that. See, right? Go
Well,
down
okay.
to.
Could
and
be.
you normalize. I'll
You
check it out.
basically have to have a very low noise floor if you're going to increase the gain, the volume, in other words, by quite a lot. Because if you've got a noisy, a noise floor that's rather noisy, it's going to increase incredibly with the, with the increasing gain.
Yes.
Or you could actually do your noise reduction after you've done all this, and it would still take it out,
Well,
wouldn't
now
it?
that's an idea. I didn't even thought about that. I don't know.
I was going to say, they just say you always get artifacts with processing.
Yeah,
So I think like
exactly.
Adrian was saying, you're
Artifacts.
Yeah,
better off
Artifacts,
recording in a
okay.
quiet space. I think the
You-
standard
you-
is minus 60 decibels, I think, isn't it? The standard noise floor.
No, it's minus 60 actually.
Let's see what the noise
That's
floor
what
is
I
for
do.
here. I mean, let's see what it is. This is, let's plot my spectrum. Whoa, that's a lot of noise. Let's plot this on my decibel level here. Once again, I'm not saying it's perfect. It's maybe it's a rule of thumb. It's something that works for me. I'm not.
Hey, you
the-
sound great. When I listen to you, you sound perfect.
I'm not the pickiest guy in the world. I will.
Well, I'm picky.
Screen sharing has stopped. Okay.
If
Well-
you're on Audible, for instance, they insist on a minus 60 dB noise floor
Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
on Audible, but it can be a bit less on LibriVox, I would have thought, normally.
Ishmael, hey. I see we have another. Well, anyway, that was something that I fully intend to make a video about, but different people have reservations about it. They say, well, all you're doing is slapping a gain, up or down. I said, okay, but it's a tool that does it for me. I don't have to figure out, should I go up
think it
3 or
balances
down
it
4?
out.
Say again?
I think it balances it out. It makes it more even, That's what I like about it.
Well,
Well, I
like it.
find
It's-
whenever I'm recording that I start my sentence off loud and I trail it off down to where it's quiet. And so as I go through every single sentence, I have to raise the volume of the tail end of everything. And I can't seem to train myself not to do that. So this would help me maybe to,
Yes.
get
I
it
have a
more
problem.
balanced.
I have a problem that if I make a mistake, when I go back and repeat that first word that I repeat, I make it too loud.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
And I have to bring that down when I'm editing. I have to cut that down, just that
Mhm.
one word,
Mhm.
If I'm
Interesting.
doing pickup stuff, I will probably read like the last half of the sentence before to get myself into the groove. And
Oh,
then
Yeah, that's a
I-
good idea.
That is exactly what I've learned that I have to
I'm
do
doing
as
it.
well. Otherwise, there's no way to match it up. And then sometimes you don't match it up just on the wrong word, but you feather in a couple words before and
Sure.
after.
It's
make
the
it sound a
art
little bit
of
right.
editing. It's the art of editing and recording. We use different tools. I didn't know other people had trouble with the loudness on the first word. I've never thought about it.
What?
Like Rich, I read the sentence and my brain automatically adjusts my volume. I guess. I reckon I'm glad I don't have to think too much about it, because when I think too much about something, it goes awry. Speaking of awry, Rich. Speaking of awry, where did that word come from? Rich you're doing the Tom Corbett Space Cadet, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
That was interesting. We do dramatic readings here for the new people. Have y'all ever done a dramatic reading?
No,
Yeah. Oh man.
How
Basically,
do I get in on that?
oh, well, we have let me share my screen. Don't we have a forum for that?
Yes, we do.
Yes,
Yep.
we do.
No, we don't really have a forum for dramatic readings.
We don't?
But you
I think
have.
there is.
You think? It's you go back to the board index and you go
Like,
readers
dramatic
wanted.
works.
Oh, dramatic works.
See?
There you go.
Dramatic works means you can play Jane Eyre, and you can be Jane Eyre, or you can be the narrator, or you can be like me. I'm Tom Corbett. Tom Corbett. He's sort of a naive, excited, enthusiastic young man, ready to go out, hot jets and all. Hot
I
jets.
thought you didn't do dramatic
I don't do. I told him that, but it came around to where, okay, I would do this. I did it. It's different. It's not my favorite thing because the flow is, you have to break the flow, which you have to read a page of dialogue and then you get to your sign. Hi, Jets, Mary, are we going to leave the ship? To get anyway. So that we have that. If you like dramatic readings, look at all of these that are looking for readers. One act plays. Barbara of Seville. Is that there's singing involved in
Okay,
that?
Todd is big on that, right? We have Todd with us today. He
Yeah.
can-
Are they singing?
No, they are not singing.
Oh, shoot.
I'm sorry, but singing is too hard to edit. And that's my excuse for not using it.
Okay.
And I joined LibirVox when I lost my voice and couldn't sing anymore. So I maybe have a little emotional attachment there. But,
Oh, I'm sorry about
but
that.
it is hard to do some editing with people's interpretations of pitches. Or also even, but to having people kind of chant stuff in rhythm does work out very nicely.
Interpretation of pitches. That is a very diplomatic way of saying it.
Yeah.
The Revolt on Venus.
Where's
Mhm.
that?
Yes, that's it. I remember reading that book about 50 years ago or so, and I finally decided that I needed to get to do part of this. One of the reasons I normally don't do the dramatic readings is that people make scripts for the dramatic readings, as opposed to the plays, which already have a script with all the character names. When they do the scripts, people often use colors to highlight things and stuff like that.
Yes.
And not all of us can see the different colors. So
Oh, my
I don't go into a lot of dramatic readings.
So
You
anyway,
could do different fonts, maybe.
Well, the best way to do it is what they did here, which they put the person's name at the beginning of each line of the script,
Yeah.
and they put the highlight to make it
So
easy to see.
Somebody creates like a Word document or a Google Docs
Yeah,
and
because it's
works
not like
on
a
it for
yeah.
days and days and days until
this is an example.
it's right. Oh, God, that's way too much work.
Is this not a lot of work? Somebody had to take
Yes.
this chapter and break it down,
Yeah,
each person.
yeah.
So if you're interested, and this is a very popular stuff. Lots of people like to do dramatic reading, and they turn out great too.
Mhm.
Right?
I'm editing a duet right now. I'm BCing for 2 people who are readers, and I had to put together the Google Doc. It's the first time I've really done that. Oh my God, the amount of work involved is totally lots of dedication there, Todd, for y'all to do that.
Well, I tend to go with the plays where the script is already just fine the way you read it at Gutenberg or archive.org. The work to actually get a dramatic reading set up it's much harder.
Oh, yes. So I wanted to mention that's one thing that we do that probably nobody else is doing. We take books, obviously, everything from science fiction to romance, I don't know what, and we turn them into dramatic readings. That's the amount of work involved is incredible, but it's a work of love. The people that do it love it.
Mhm.
I wanted to welcome Rashid, let's see, Ishmael, Abdul Rashid. Are you with us? No, he's not with us.
Yeah,
We
he's
just
with
see
us.
his.
I'm afraid I have to leave now, so I say Happy New Year and cheerio to everybody.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Where are you calling from? Or
Where am I? What?
where are you located physically?
London.
Okay, well, welcome. Glad you popped in. And when we have this tonight, by the way, 11 o'clock, 11 p.m. tonight, and next month and everything else, you can just pop in and say, hi, I have a question about something and we can chat about it.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for coming.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, booby doo dooby doo doo doo. All right. Anybody have any questions or anything about the new we only had 3 new people?
Oh, one thing I want to say for the newcomers is I really encourage them when they've read something and they think, okay, I'm done. I've recorded it. I'm going to send it in. It's fine. It's tedious, but always proof listen to the whole thing before you send it in, because
Oh, yeah.
as a proof listener, the last project I worked on, we had, I think it was either 2 or 3 chapters that had to be completely deleted because the person that read it there was part of it that got so badly messed up it couldn't be used again.
Yeah.
And we never could get a hold of her. So we had to have somebody else re-record it. So even though you think, oh, it's fine, it looks good, sometimes there's background noises and mistakes in there that it's like about, I think, 10 minutes of her recording got ruined, or 2 recordings got ruined because of really bad background noises. So always listen, even if it's tedious and you think, I don't want to listen to this thing again, always listen to the whole thing before you send it in.
Oh, yeah. So basically, the proof listener on LibriVox is not the person who's correcting all your mistakes. They're there as the very final finishing touches on your finished product that you send in because you're satisfied with it. So to me, the process you do at home is you record it, then you edit out your mistakes, and then you apply all these effects, and then you go back with the text and you
Right.
listen to yourself with the text and correct those errors. And then you send it in when you're satisfied that it's, that it sounds good
Add
and
one
it's a
more
finished
step.
product.
Okay.
Sleep on it.
And then your proof listener does what proof listeners are supposed to do, is just give it a cursory listen. I always follow along with the text because I myself have left out whole paragraphs when I'm
Oh, yeah.
reading a text, and then there's a picture, and then I go to the next page and I skip the whole paragraph under
Yep.
the picture, and I have proof listeners that find that for me. It's so easy to leave out a phrase
is,
or
it
to edit
is.
out a phrase that you put in there, but when you edit out a word, you actually your cursor grabs a whole, 5 or 6 words, and your proof listener, you should find that yourself on your final proof listen, but
Okay.
even,
Well, listen,
even so, it slips through.
okay, I want to ask a question. While you were talking about proof listening, there's so many things about LibriVox, the process. You're going to make a video, by the way. No, not about this, not about the process of how do books go from public domain all the way through us, and then they finally get cataloged. Like I said, we cataloged 1,400 projects. We call them projects last year. That's more than we've ever done. What was I going to talk about? Man, my brain is going good. How do you choose a project? I wanted to get back to excitement. The reason this gets done, the reason we do this is because we're excited about it. And they say happiness is having something in your life that you're excited about. That is to me, it is. And I ask myself that every day. What am I excited about? And I'm saying, oh boy, I'm going to find a new book to read. I'm going to record some more. So I'm going to ask everybody here, since you're here, maybe what type of literature or book are you thinking about is percolating in the back of your mind? A book that you read back in college, or you read back in high school, or I did Huckleberry Finn. I loved it. That was amazing. What type of books or projects are you interested in doing in the coming year? Anybody?
Yeah, when I'm reading the news, every now and then I'll see a reference to a book that seems like it's probably in the public domain. And I have now created a spreadsheet because I've accumulated so many of these. I just accumulated a list far larger than what I can keep up with recording. All just an incredible number of books, and with the link on Gutenberg or archive.org, and a little explanation as to why I wanted to record that book. Because sometimes I look at books and I go, wow, what was I thinking?
Wow.
So I've had to remember to write a little note to remind me that there's some juicy nugget in there for one of the collections, or maybe I want to record the whole book. And so I've put together a spreadsheet now of just like all these things that come up in the news or that a friend mentions, or like you said, Phil, that, I remember from when I was in school that I want to go back and I want to see, gee, I think that might be public domain now.
Well, that's okay. Yeah, they're right. I'm gonna say I have about 6 or 7 of those sheets. They're not spreadsheets. They're pages I've made over the year, and I keep finding them. Oh yeah, these are the 12 books I want, and they keep changing. I'm not very consistent guy. But if you want to look for books, I go to Gutenberg. If you want, we can briefly go there and take a break. Just how to look around, and it's amazing what you find in there. I found a book about 7 years ago in Gutenberg that that somebody mentioned in high school as being a great book. I found it. I started reading it. It was wonderful. Big, huge. What was it? The 12th greatest of century. Huge, big book, and I recorded it. So I guess I rely on serendipity now. Just go into Gutenberg and look around. If you go to if anybody hasn't been there, they have categories. You can go to all the different categories from psychology, if you want to read about Freud, or if you want to read about biology or geology, all the categories are in there. And you can just go through, take 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden, I guarantee you'll come across something that'll pop in your mind and say, oh, I want to record that.
So like, for example, with the short story collections that I do, people will submit a short story and they have to submit their text source, which is almost invariably a collection of short stories or a chapter from a book. And then if I check out the book, I check out the other things, and I'm like, oh, this book, or the whole book should be recorded. So I'll just give you an example of, I don't know if you can actually see that, probably not. But this is like a worksheet that I put together, and it's the title of the book, the text source of the book, and I break down all the chapters. I bring it into Word, and I get a word count on every chapter. So this is what we go like in the magic window.
Gee,
and
wow.
This is something I want to do one of these days.
Cool.
And I could actually do a little Zoom session on how to create this, how to make as a BC, how do you make a project? So right now I've done this work on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 projects that I have in the offing that I've done the work on, but I may or may not ever get around to doing, because more keep piling in. There's a lot more good literature there than you'll ever have time to do. So unlike Phil, you BC a lot of projects that you don't proof listen, that you put them up there and then you let other people do the reading, the proof listening, and you let the project run. I've never done that so far. When I BC something, I always
newer people. She's using the word BC. That means the book coordinator. The book coordinator is the person. It could be you, who decides that you like this book and you want to make a let a group work on it.
A group project.
A group project.
And then let someone else DPL it. I haven't crossed that bridge yet.
Well, we all have different. You love to do that. You listen. You put up a book. It's your baby. You take care of it. You do all the work. You listen to it. I mean,
yeah, I like to listen to it. I don't want to put up a book.
Throw it out there and wish them the very best. I just let it go, because I have to not a confession. I do a lot of what I call beginning books. People, like I said, nursery stories. Things that are easy to start with. But the point is, everybody's different. So you could be a BC too, a book coordinator. And if you see the phrase MC, that stands for meta coordinator or admin, I guess. So
the person that gives you the magic window and ends up cataloging your project, but doesn't hang out all the time.
So Michelle, I'm not that organized. I have many lists and they're all over the place. I've made them on the computer, but I don't. It depends on what gets me excited. If I have a big list and none of that stuff gets me excited, I don't do it. I'll wait for something that gets me excited. Because
I'm
that
I'm trying to relearn Greek. And so I was interested in finding because I used to go to Greek school when I was little. My mother made me go. And I was trying to find a kid's Greek poem book or something that was really old. But I don't know. I spent about a half an hour looking around on the internet, and I don't know. I just wasn't able to find anything. So
modern
that's
Greek.
kind of what
Okay,
it
have you
was
ever
like.
heard of the there is a podcaster whose name is no, Alexa, don't do that. His name is the podcast is called Young Heretics. And this is a very, very learned man who takes you from the beginning of written language. He starts with the Iliad and the Odyssey, and he goes up, of course, through the Bible and through, it's like the history of storytelling and the history of history in the written word. And in his very first podcast, if you write down Young Heretics and you listen to the very first episode, he recites part of the Iliad in Greek as opposed to in English. And he says things like, what people don't, why he recommends everybody learns Greek. He said it's because it's melodic, it's music. And he recites some of the Iliad in English, which is a nice poem that makes sense. And then he recites it in Greek, which is literally, you can hear the music in it. And he tells you that there's a place you can go online and learn Greek. And I think it's like a free teaching class. And he says that in that very first episode. Because it's called Young Heretics, in case you're interested.
Greek. Well, that's you're talking about modern Greek or ancient Greek?
Yeah, just
Spencer Clavin is his name. He's a young man, but he's highly educated.
I do Duolingo with the Greek, so I'm pretty good and I have a history of it, but I wanted to find, poems that had basic language, like kids' Greek poems that are in the public domain to record, but I haven't. It's just something I'm interested in, that I like to find a really hard challenge and then slowly pick away at it and make it happen.
Try reading.
Kind of one of the things.
Darn if I forgot his name. Shoot.
While you're thinking, Michelle, let me jump in here and say, I recommend that you go to our forum, okay, and post in need help, got a suggestion, and say, I'm looking for exactly what you're looking for. The range of knowledge in our LibirVox database people is amazing. Somebody will come up with, oh yeah, this is a book of poems, let other people help you. We're willing to do that. I don't know any myself, but I guarantee you somebody will come right back and say, oh yeah, this is what you're looking for.
We do have some Greek readers.
I bet you a nickel.
I have a question. On average, how much time do each of you invest in doing recordings? Are a lot of you retired, or is this your full-time job, or going to school?
I invest a lot of time, but it's not recording. There's a lot of other things you do with LibriVox besides record, edit, proofless, and put up projects. Yeah, I'd say I get more emails from LibriVox than I do from anybody else, and I look forward to it. It keeps me like Phil says, it's exciting. Keeps me going every day.
On average 10 hours a week, or do you spend like a full-time job?
We have to qualify what we're talking about here. Okay. Recording for me is my happiness time. Really, if this is when I can actually have my wife, I'm a caretaker for my wife. When she's sleeping, I can close the door, when I can turn off that is happy for me. So actual recording time, I don't do that many hours, probably 6-7 hours a week. I get to do that. the rest of my time, another 20 hours every day, is spent answering emails, reading the forums, looking for projects,
Editing what you recorded.
editing, a lot of editing. The editing is not my happy time. Editing. I mean, I'm good at it, but it's not what I do. When I get to perform a book, when I get to interpret what that author is trying to do, it brings me joy. And it's free. I mean, I don't have to go in. So that's maybe 6-7 hours. I'm
A
sorry.
week.
What? Oh, well, I'm sorry. Something. Not my Google Drive just said they're going to delete some files. But the rest of the time, I probably spend 2-3 hours a day just taking care of administrative duties. See, I have a lot of projects running. I'm a BC for maybe like 7 or 8, 9 projects. You have to say, okay, you can have that chapter. You have to answer them. You have to post, do all that stuff. So is that sort of an
And
answer?
you're
to that?
retired.
Oh,
He's
I'm very
retired,
retired.
I'm
I've
retired.
been retired a long time.
How about
Yeah,
you, Andy?
I
Or
just
are you,
retired.
Rich?
Well, I recently had a week off of work, and so I probably spent like 40 hours that week just doing
Yeah.
LibirVox stuff because I just got in the mood for it. And so,
Yeah.
but now
Right.
I'm probably doing like maybe 2 or 3 hours on the weekends.
Okay.
I'm
How about
retired.
And also
You're retired,
remember on
Rich?
No, Rich is working.
He said he was retired.
Who?
I'm
No.
retired.
Oh,
I have lots of.
Rich
lots of
Brown.
other-
Okay. Loon.
Yeah, yeah.
and also remember on recording, your voice, you have to make sure that your voice doesn't give out.
That's right. It's a lot of things. The recording itself is,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Water.
everything has to be working right. I can't have my right. So okay. So
I
that's
have
about how
hardly
much I spend.
recorded at all in the last couple of months because I just can't seem to project my voice onto the screen, I don't know. It's very hard lately to record. And I'm right in the middle of recording some things and I just
I'm
can't
sorry to hear that.
finish it.
Is it
I don't know why.
emotional or is it
No,
physical?
it's not emotional. It's just in my,
I don't
my
know.
throat just, I don't know. I notice I'm having a little trouble swallowing sometimes, and maybe there's something going on with my throat. I don't know what it is.
I just keep.
But there's
edit-
so
I
much
just keep
else to do
saying
with
it over.
LibriVox. You don't have to record to keep busy.
Ooh,
What's
somebody-
that say? Fisherman's
Fisherman's
friend? What's that?
The
Very
lozenge.
powerful lozenges. They're very good. The first time you take them, you think you're poisoning yourself, but they're really effective.
Fisherman's friend, right?
I'm writing
Yes.
it down.
Kevin, are you retired?
No, I'm sick at the moment. I've got an autoimmune disease.
Oh,
Trying to overcome. So it affects my nerves, my nervous system.
Oh,
So we've got you. We got all of you.
I used to play guitar, but I can't use my hands properly.
really?
This was almost completely paralyzed back in March.
Oh,
Wow.
Lord.
I'm very
so
lucky.
you've been doing work, physical therapy and things?
Yeah, I used to be a therapist. Yeah, I used to
Okay.
do massage. But I'm slowly. I don't have much feeling in this hand, but I can grip and hold things now, whereas I couldn't before. It just used to flop. And I'm
So you can
having-
record, but you can't edit.
I can edit. Yeah, yeah. I can use it enough. I've got a trackpad on my iMac, and also my legs are affected. Walking's difficult for me at the
Oh,
moment.
man.
So
Listen,
But
I
I
had
think-
so much trouble with this hand, with my thumb, with arthritis or whatever in my thumb, that it was so painful and the shots weren't helping. Of course, this is the hand you use your mouse with. So I trained myself to use my mouse with my left hand. That took about a month, but now I can do that.
recommend the trackpad. I would use the trackpad.
Yeah.
That's my.
Trackpad.
Well,
It's a
okay,
flat-
listen. I'm sorry. Go
it's a
ahead,
flat-
Kevin. I interrupted you. A trackpod?
It's like a flat panel, like you get
Oh,
on
okay.
laptops. Mine's an Apple one on my iMac, and I find that much easier than a mouse. Much
Oh,
easier.
okay.
And a lot of it's just sliding your fingers around,
Yeah,
and it clicks when you press it.
yeah.
Okay. You don't have to
Right.
use your,
Ladies and gentlemen, my time is up. Or not really. I mean, we can go as long as we want, but I do have to go take care of my bride in there. I hear her moving around.
It's nice to meet everybody.
I want to
Nice
tell
to
y'all,
meet you.
thank you
Nice to
for
meet you
coming.
too.
We're going to do
Listening.
this again at 11 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
Maybe new, maybe old, but I've gotten some great ideas on what to do. I'm definitely going to go to Gutenberg, but okay. Thank you very much for everybody for
Thanks,
joining.
Lynn.
I
Bye.
keep recording.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mary.
How do I close this?
Bye,
Bye,
Claudia. Bye-bye.